Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is me, Mysterious Cameraman, and today I watched all 5 Slasherverse episodes again and ranked them. So I've done these 5 episodes in the 5 weeks that they've been coming out, but now I believe it is time that they're ranked from worst to best. So, what do I believe is the worst episode? I believe episode 4, Scream, is the worst episode. So, what exactly is wrong with this episode? And which is that, first off, this is the shortest episode at 16 minutes, and that's including credits. So overall, this episode is 14 minutes. 3 of those minutes are used to set up the finale. And besides that, they spend the majority of the episode of them meeting these characters that are all gonna die. So all of his character development basically furthers Ghostface's character. But the issue is that Ghostface doesn't do much, and if Ghostface didn't appear in the finale, it would be very bad. But the fact that she does makes her character so much better. But the issue is that this episode introduces all these characters, and it takes so long introducing them that we see very few murders, and they're very lackluster. You don't even see the final chase. It kind of just cuts away. So I feel like they just didn't do it right. I think they could have done it so much differently, and they kind of just screwed it up. Scream could have been way better. So that's why episode 4 is in last place. In 4th place is episode 1, A Nightmare on Elm Street. So I was not that impressed with this episode from at first. But the reason that this is in 4th is I rewatched it and I said, look, it's not that bad. The movie's better, obviously. But I think I noticed the main issue I have with this, which is that it's too short. This is the one episode that I actually think needs to be way longer. For someone like Jason or Mike Myers, those are basically just killers. If you just throw them in a fight scene, they'll be fine. But for someone like A Nightmare on Elm Street, if you've seen like the films for like Friday the 13th or Mike Myers, you know those are like, bam, they're killers. But like for Nightmare on Elm Street, it's a very weird thing because it has to raise the mystery of this person in their dreams. But what I have the issue with is that it doesn't really have a mystery. It's kind of just like these people develop half of the episode. Then this person just goes into a dream and dies. Like, I think it could have been done way better if even the first 3 minutes or the stupid script scene, if they made this one 40 minutes, that would have been fine. But at this length, all they had to do is just put in a murder at the beginning so we can meet the villain, so we can understand the villain, and then get to that actual things at the end. And I think the main issue with this is really that it's just too short. An episode about A Nightmare on Elm Street needs to be longer because of its story. To tell us such a layering story in 14 minutes is not enough time to tell that story properly. And yeah, fine, you get that one fight scene in, but Freddy Krueger isn't about those fight scenes. It's about the overarching mystery that is done so well in the show, in the movie, I mean. Which is why I just kind of felt like I just missed something from this episode, and I just wished it was longer. But it's not bad in any way. I just wish it was longer. 3rd place, episode 2, Halloween. So when I first watched this, I thought this episode was amazing. Thought Mike Myers was creepy and good. And even after I watched the 3rd episode, I thought this was still better. But once I rewatched it, yeah, he was creepy and all. But, like, he was kind of just, like, creepy. He didn't offer anything compared to the top 2. Especially with the main characters in this one. Their romantic subplot is not introduced well. The basic plot of this is we begin at the end of the episode where we see the killers, which is the kills, which is very good for this story. Then we immediately cut to the title card. We meet the main characters. We meet the murderer, and that's basically their character development. They don't have much. They kind of are just people who are dating other people who are dating, and they die. It's a very simple thing. And I think the cool part is actually that the boyfriend knows the murderer and is hiding them out, because it's a very interesting plot. And I think it's done very well. But we don't care for the murderer, and we don't care for those people because they're not developed well. So I just don't feel like this episode executes anything properly. But besides that the main characters are bad, Mike Myers himself is good. The only reason I'd say this episode is in third place compared to second or first is basically because the main characters just aren't good enough. I just think the main characters are just lacking something that I feel like the top two main characters have and do very well. And of course this guy's menacing, but I feel like the other ones are just done way better. And I don't think that's anything against this episode, because this episode is still good. It's just that they just didn't execute it properly, yet some of the shots in this are really good. But overall, Halloween is good. It's a fine one, but, like, it's nothing special. And that's why I'm going to give it second place. But I do like the ending. I think the ending's fine. I do like it. And the Mudblood person's in it. And I really just like this episode overall. And, yeah, I just think this one's done well. But second place is episode 3, Friday the 13th. Personally, I thought this is very close to the first place spot. This has the best main characters in the entire show. Maybe isn't. No, never mind, they're not. The next ones are better. But these characters, no, these are the best. These are definitely the best. The boy is developed very well in these flashback scenes. And it's a very good way of showing their past dates, because he's charming and it makes us like him very quickly. And it sucks that he's just killed off so quickly. And as for our female lead, she's good. It's kind of a very interesting thing, because she's not introduced as well as the other guy. And you think the other guy's the main character, but no, she is. Doesn't make sense, because he has more development. But it makes you like these characters a lot, so when they finally kiss and then he gets murdered, it's really cool. Like, it's like a very intimidating part of the thing, which is interesting, because once we get to meet both characters and we get to see how they're kind of like opposites, it lets us take, once he kills him, the female lead is just running, just sprinting away from Jason. And Jason's kind of just on a warpath, and we get to meet the main character from the last episode, which is, it's a fine way to make it. But the main issue I have is that he is super menacing. And it's kind of like how the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is. He's the most menacing villain. But the issue is that, as good as the main characters are, and as good as he is, it is just kind of this murderer killing these people. And a lot of the ending of the episode is actually meant to set up Scream's episode, which is fine, I guess, but he kind of just leaves. Like, yeah, I like this one a lot, but in first place is obviously episode 5. This one won the poll by a landslide. No other votes. This got 100%. And I don't blame them. The main character is introduced in a very compelling way. You get to meet this mean girl by seeing her go up to Hollywood, get up there, see her in movies, and then basically see her collapse, and then basically just say, look, let's just skip to the fun stuff. It's a quick and simple way. So the majority of the episode is dedicated to the other characters we know. Yeah, the side characters aren't great, but focus is enough on this main Hollywood girl that it's okay. And as for the villains, we get Scream in this, and Scream is done so well because we know her. And seeing her put into this and done so well is honestly too good. Having her kind of be this in the shadows person. So, when I'm gonna keep talking about the thingy about this episode, the main character is good. I'm just trying to sum this up. The main character is really good. Ghostface is kind of elevated in this because of how bad her episode is. Her episode being bad makes this episode really good. Because the issue with her episode is that it's too much explaining. But this episode, because it's explained, makes her such a great villain. Which is why she's kind of sneaky, while we have the big show boy in the Leatherface. which leads to this very interesting dynamic, because we have Leatherface kind of just killing everyone. And again, this is his episode, but I think tying it into Scream is actually perfect for this character. Having just a random screaming character would have been too repetitive. So having them go with Scream, sorry about that, would be such a great idea, which I didn't think they would think of. But having a finale, what I wanted from this finale was something different than all the episodes. And it kind of has like a team up to sum up. 3 of the 5 Slasherverse villains from the episodes come in this episode and are put in very well. And plus we have a surprise 4th cameo at the end. And it's just done perfectly. So we'll talk about the villains quickly. We have Scream, who's done amazingly, and Ghostface, and sucks she died. Leatherface, who's also really good in this, surprisingly. But it's really well, especially played off with the main character girl. I should add, Ghostface literally just doesn't care in this. She basically just randomly runs around and screams at everyone, and basically just dances, and it's so funny. And it's like, she's kind of like comedy, and she's just so insane compared to the other Chainsaw Man, who Leatherface, who just kills everyone. We also get Freddy Krueger, because main character girl goes to Springwood, and that's where the first episode takes place. So Freddy Krueger comes in, which is a great cameo, and at the end we have this family who brings home Chucky. So in my opinion, I loved this series. This series was just done really well, and especially this last episode, surprisingly, was very good. And overall, I just loved seeing Ghostface done well, Leatherface done well, having a compelling main character, and even having cameos from Elm Street and Chucky. So, I personally love the Slasherverse series, and I think there's going to be season 2, so I'm really excited for this. But besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. Sadly, this is where the Slasherverse journey ends, but I'll see you with the next series coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.